This is Ahmier Gibson of SlayNewYork.com.
So, Ahmier, who is Ahmier?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to figure that out right now. I thought that I knew who I was, but I just turned 24 2 weeks ago. So I'm on a new journey of self-discovery, so I'm trying to figure out who I am.
And when you say self-discovery, tell folks about, how has the last month and a half been for you?
It's been an extreme culture shock, to say the least. I'm from Houston, Texas, so I've been in New York for 2 months and a week now, and it's a lot of things that I never knew that I had in me, and I never knew that was in the world. Like, I didn't know that I was able to detach myself away from my family. Like, I'm extremely close to my family, and I don't know, it's a different environment whenever you're experiencing a new city completely by yourself. Like, I have friends here, true, but it's nothing like back home. I don't know, New York is crazy. It's everything that people imagine it to be. The stuff that you see on TV you may or may not experience, but it's just a whole bunch of too much.
So what are some of the things that you've experienced while being here? Anything crazy, anything out there normal compared to Houston?
Yeah, well, first things first, I have never depended on public transportation, so I have to ride the subway and the buses. And the first thing I experienced whenever I first moved here was the fact that your rats are the size of toddlers. And I think they have like wings or something because they like fly, and then they climb up the trash can. I didn't know that rats could like climb vertically. That was new to me. So that was the first crazy thing. I've experienced someone masturbating on the subway before. I've experienced a lot of rudeness in the sense that like it wasn't optional for me to say excuse me if I were to bump into someone. Here they'll bump into you, you'll fly across the fucking street and they'll just keep on walking. So I don't know. I haven't really experienced like no one has come up to me like taking their clothes off or anything, nothing like that. But just the everyday stuff is a little abnormal and it's gonna take some getting used to.
So why the transition from Houston to New York?
Texas was very easy, and I was just trying to reevaluate my life and figure out what had I done for myself, and it was nothing like really as big as transition. And I didn't want to be easy and move from like Houston to Dallas or Austin. If I was gonna move, why not move from Texas to New York? And New York was the only place at the time that I could see myself. Now that I'm here, I feel like I can't go back to Texas. I'm gonna have to do something bigger, so it's gonna be overseas probably. And I think it's just stepping stones.
Awesome. So, what are your goals while coming here to New York? What do you want to achieve?
I did a lot of HIV awareness and prevention in Texas, and I want to like double that here. It's such a great place to do it. This is a land of many opportunities. I'm also a freelance graphic designer, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm trying to figure out how I can own a business and not actually work. My long-term goal is to have a non-profit organization for the LGBT youth, and so I'm just going to try to figure out as many things I can do here to help me get to that goal.
Okay. And what services would you want to provide for the youth?
I just want to give them a safe haven. I was very fortunate to have a family who was extremely supportive. I came out at 14, and it's kind of awkward to hear, or it's unusual to hear a black family embracing, a young homosexual person. And so there are people in my circle that don't have the same experience as I do. So I want to give them a place where they can actually feel comfortable enough to be themselves, for one, but then give them the tools necessary for them to be okay. Because as an adult, you can have a program that you can find for yourself, so to get on track. Children don't have that. And how can you disown a child or put them in a position to where they don't know what they're going to do and then expect them to be a successful adult?
So it would be more like a shelter.
Basically.
Okay. And coming out at 14, what was that process like for you? Like, did you know that this is something that you were feeling, something that you knew, a phase? What was going through your head?
I never thought it was a phase. I always knew I was different. Like, on Instagram a few months ago, I found a picture prior to me moving here. I found a picture of me playing with Barbie dolls. And I could have been no older than 6, but I knew at that time it was wrong because I was like trying to hide myself. I didn't want to be seen, you know, on camera with Barbie dolls. So I've always known that it was something. I didn't know that it was gay, obviously, but I knew that I wasn't like anyone else. So whenever I did come out, I think it was just at a point because I was getting bullied in school, and I knew they were calling me faggot, and I knew that at that point, at 14, that I knew that I didn't like girls, you know? And so I wanted to, like, before my mom heard it, I wanted to be the one to tell her, so I just told her that I was gay.
And what was her reaction?
That's all you want to tell me? You can go and clean your room now. And even in, like, I did a going away video at my going away dinner, and, like, my godmom was like, I told your parents that you were going to be gay, like, whenever you were, like, 2 years old playing in my high heels. So it's something that my family already knew, which I'm assuming that's the reason why my transition was so easy, because it wasn't something that was unexpected. Like, everyone told me that they were waiting on me to come to grips with it, you know?
So, since you've been out for 10 years,
yes.
what would you tell, you know?
Seems like such a long time.
What would you tell, you know, 14-year-old now growing up who, you know, may be going through that same experience or debating whether not to tell, if they are, if they aren't?
I for one, I don't tell anyone to just come out. I feel like situations are different. I felt comfortable enough at the time to come out, so I did. Other people may know their family history and they may not want to do the same, but I feel like you need to address that problem within yourself and figure it out for yourself. Like, you don't have to rush. I felt like, okay, I'm 14, I don't have anything else to lose. I think coming out at such an early age provided me with a lot of tools as an adult that I think were very necessary. Like, I feel like I'm a lot stronger, I'm a lot more confident because I went through that process way earlier rather than waiting until 18 or 21 to come out, where you're already an adult. Now you have to put something else on your table to struggle with. So you don't necessarily have to come out to your family first either. If you feel comfortable coming out with your friends, do that. But just take it in baby steps. It doesn't have to be this one big thing. And I feel like as an adult, like, because I've experienced so much, once you get to a particular age, it's not gonna matter. And I feel like even me at 14, whenever I came out, I was making it a big deal because that's all I knew. I wasn't able to see from the outside looking in. Now I'm able to do that, and it's the shit that you go through as an adolescent is gonna be completely, you're gonna forget about it, you know? It's not gonna mean much.
So talk about some of the experiences. You said you've been through a good deal. What have you been through? Yeah.
I switched schools 7th and 8th grade year. It was just an hour and a half within driving distance, but that's big whenever you're young and you're trying to find social circles, because at that point people already have their group of friends. They've been growing up with these people, so they know them. The first week I came home, I remember one day, and my mom had a house built, and on our driveway it was like "faggot lives here" in blue spray paint. And so I remember like crying and then being so like scared my mom was gonna see it, because I hadn't come out at this time. I was thinking that my mom was gonna see it, so I had my brother come and we were like scraping the concrete to get it out. I mean, whenever she came, she still saw that there was something there, but we got the faggot part out. That was like the first thing. Like I said, I used to get bullied in school, and it wasn't necessarily like me getting like beat up all the time, although that did happen. That wasn't something that happened all the time. But like what was interesting to me is in school, they would call me a faggot and you know, just all the normal stuff that happens whenever you're a feminine dude at that age. But they would then be trying to like almost have sex with me in the locker room. So
I guess it was a gift and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, and then I grew up around.
Well, I guess maybe they were quote unquote DL at the time.
Yeah, and I feel like because I was able to walk around comfortable in my skin, it kind of made them feel some type of way. So in order for them to be okay with themselves, they had to make fun of me, and then, you know, try to get it in on the slide. Have
you seen any of them growing up at all? Wow.
Well, actually, I'm lying. I did. I have seen a few. And it's just like they'll speak to me like nothing has happened. At 20, I think my 20th birthday, I got gay bashed. And what was really interesting about that is after I got gay bashed, of course I had to go through the whole legal process of filing charges, blah, blah, blah. So I moved away. Because I'm originally from like a town outside of Houston. It's like 45 minutes outside of Houston. And so I actually moved to like the other side of Houston. And my stepdad does like, he produces, he's underground music. And one of the dudes who gay bashed me actually came in to get a song done by him. Yeah. And so I didn't know that until like my mom Skyped me and then I saw. And so once I told him that that was one of the dudes, like all hell broke loose. But yeah, I've been in an abusive relationship. So outside of going from being abused emotionally by, you know, the outside world, I was in a situation to where it was my choice to be in a relationship. It wasn't anything forced and it wasn't anything that I wasn't aware of, but I was in an abusive relationship as well.
Okay, a lot of people don't really share, I guess, domestic violence within the gay community. It happens a lot, but it's not talked about. Why do you think that is?
Because whenever people look at two men in a relationship, they see two men. They don't see two men in a relationship. It's really easy to depict whether or not a man is beating a woman. Whenever you do that, it looks like the woman is the victim. If it's two men, it looks like it's just two men fighting, you know? And so you already have a problem with people accepting homosexuality as a whole. So whenever you bring domestic violence into it, it makes that like, okay, what the fuck is this, you know? And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it because who do you talk about whenever you talk about it too, whenever you can't even say I'm gay and it'll be okay, you know? And so it's a big pride issue, and it's just a big issue of people just don't know what to do. Because I remember for the longest, I didn't tell anybody. Like, the reason why my family found out is because we broke up, and I needed somewhere to go because we were living together at the time. But we were in a relationship for almost 3 years, and I didn't even talk to my family, period. So they didn't know the good or the bad that was going on. And I don't even know if that was a situation where I was embarrassed for the world to know, or just I was just embarrassed because of myself. Like I don't know why I didn't talk about that.
So how long did it last?
For about 6 months in until we ended.
So what was the last straw that said, okay, this is enough, I can't do it?
I was in a position to where I didn't know if I was going to be able to live. And once you realize that shit has really gotten real, you can only do one thing. You can lose your life or you can try to save it, and I wanted to save myself. Because I was young, I was 20 years old.
Was it your first experience? I mean, first relationship?
No, my first relationship was at 16. So I went from a 9-month relationship to a 1.5-year relationship to that relationship.
And I guess moving forward, does it make you look at relationships and men differently?
I've been single for 3 years, so maybe.
And that's by choice, of course.
It's by choice, and I feel like it's because I've been through enough. Like, that relationship taught me the good and the bad, and so now I know what I want in a relationship, and I know what to expect in a relationship. And I feel like a lot of people, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. People say that I look at men like they're out to get me, or that they're, you know, it's too much to deal with. But I feel like I don't even look at them like that. I look at it like this. People are used to things coming easy these days, and they don't want to put in work. I require work. And so because of that, I'm just single. And I will be single until I find someone willing to put the work in, which probably won't be here because I've been on dates in New York City already. I actually was on a date the first week I was here, and the men here are gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but they are dense like shit.
So what do you look for in a potential mate?
I look for confidence for one. I look for a sense of self. And it's easy to tell what a person is about the aura that they give. You can always tell if a person is feeling really good about themselves or really bad about themselves. I'm not too sure on what my type is physically. It's changed so much. I used to think that I was like attracted to the super macho, whatever, but I like people who can understand that appearance is one thing, but you have to have something to back that up. Like, I hate being able to look at you and be like, damn, you're fine, but we don't have anything in common, you know? I like someone who is spiritual. I am a big family guy, so I need someone to understand that, which is another thing that I'm struggling with, being around so many people who have attachment issues with their family. So the way I handle certain things is completely different to what other people handle them. And I need someone to understand that we can be completely different, but we have to meet on some kind of level. I don't know. I like to say that I'm not picky, but once I'm in a situation to where I'm trying to get to know a person, I realize that I am picky. So I can never answer this question as accurately as, you know, I would had I, you know, you and I been on a date, you know.
Gotcha. What's your favorite food?
Spaghetti.
Any type of spaghetti?
Just spaghetti. Like, I like spaghetti with beef, with sausage, with shrimp. And I haven't had a home cooked meal since I've been here. So I've been looking for somebody to cook me spaghetti. And I like tilapia too. A lot of people like salmon and catfish.
Okay.
I like tilapia and baby spinach.
East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Why?
The atmosphere is completely different. And I feel like this is a go-getter coast. I don't know. It's completely, the energy is crazy, and I'm all about the energy. And one thing that's interesting to me about it, like in this area, is it's so hard to maintain the simple stuff, but once you get it, you appreciate it so much more. Coming from Texas, like, what people pay for mortgage in Texas, you get a shoebox in New York City. But because you're working so hard to obtain that shoebox, you appreciate it so much more. So that's why I feel like people say that if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, because you're working really hard for the basics, basically. But once you get it, it's like, okay, I can do this.
What's on your iPod right now?
Emily King. Leandra Johnson. This Encouraged 2011, which is a mixture of gospel, Adele, of course, and then like all Brandy, like Brandy's entire fucking catalog. Am I allowed to say fucking? Oh, okay. Yeah, her. I am a Brandy stan. Like, I love Brandy to pieces, but it's just Brandy, Leandria, Emily King. Like, those are the people who get me going. And then Alcohol Harmony, who is a YouTuber, Duran Bernard, and then a girl named India Sean. Like, those are my basics, but I'll listen to anything.
So what would you say is your theme music right now?
My theme music, I am trying to venture out into the rap world. So I have just an introduction song called The Introduction, and that's my theme song, because it's basically discussing who I am as a person and then my transition from Texas to New York. So that's my theme song. And it's real Leo of me to have my own theme music, but that's the truth. And then sooner or later by Leandria Johnson is every morning I wake up, I listen to that song whenever I'm in the shower, I listen to that song, because it's basically saying that sooner or later things are gonna get better. And you don't even have to believe in God to listen to the song. But it's a very feel-good song, and it just gives you hope. And that's what I need here, because it's easy for you to get lost in New York City. And not in the physical sense, but you know, just you don't know what the fuck am I doing all this for? You know? That's the crazy stuff right there. I actually want one of those shirts.
Alright. Animals. Any favorite animals?
Yes, I love dogs and zebras. Zebras are they're my favorite. I love zebras. And all of my friends, because I'm such a grown-ass man infatuated with zebras, they do make fun of me, but I love zebras, I love dogs. I just started like falling in love with cats. They're so sneaky and they clean up after themselves for the most part. Anything but a rat. Anything with a New York rat especially.
Indoors versus or outdoors?
Before moving here, I would have said indoors. Now I say outdoors. Maybe it will change whenever the winter comes. But here is so much to do outside, and it's so many free things to do outside. In Texas, it's too hot. I mean, it's hot here, but it's a different kind of heat. And I think whenever I'm out and about in New York City, it doesn't feel as bad, so I'm able to just walk around. In Texas, fuck that, I'm gonna be in the house, in a hoodie, and some sweats, and some long tube socks, eating ice cream and watching television.
What is your favorite TV program right now?
I don't watch TV. Online, I watch True Blood in the newsroom, but that's it. Reality television, I'm not here for it. The Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, blah blah blah. No, but True Blood in the newsroom, and I actually just had to catch up on the newsroom same stage video go because I wasn't even watching that. Like, it was just True Blood, but True Blood in the newsroom, that's it.
Alright, if you had to pick a superhero, who would you be?
Spider-Man.
And why?
Because who wouldn't want to be Spider-Man? Like, the motherfucker could climb up any and everywhere, and he has like the web that shoots out of his fingers, and he has a sexy ass costume. Like, and I like the idea of being, he's easily accessible, whereas Clark Kent, you know, he was accessible as Clark Kent, but Superman, you really just didn't know. Like, Spider-Man is a more just down-to-earth kind of hero. Batman, I'm not here for the man boobs in his costume because I'm like 95 pounds and it just doesn't. I feel like I can relate to Spider-Man.
What animal would you be an animal?
A lion, of course.
Because you're a Leo?
Yeah, and I am the epitome of a Leo. And so, because of that, I feel like why not be a lion if I could be? I really wish I could morph into one right now. I'd be a bird.
Okay, what are some of your strengths?
These questions are always so, what are some of my strengths? I don't know. I have an ability to be brave. I'm a very good communicator whenever I'm not pissed off. I was gonna lie and say I'm a people person, but I'm a people person part-time. Some of my strengths. I can cook. Does that count? I don't know. I feel like I'm the lamest person ever, and I don't really know like what my strengths are, other than the fact that I can just stick it out whenever shit gets really hard.
And your weaknesses?
Oh my gosh, I'm a crybaby. I think sometimes I can be too open. Like, even if you know anything about me, like, my life is an open book. Like, I live my life on the internet, so every struggle, every situation that I go through is on the internet, so I don't like really have a lot to myself. I think that I'm lazy for one, and I'm a big procrastinator. There are a lot of things that I could get done, and I just choose to wait till the very last minute to do them. What else? I'm a hothead. I'm a hothead for real. Like, I have a really bad attitude, which I'm trying to work on. And you know, they say that the first step into getting better is to realize what the fuck you got going on. And so I know that I'm a hothead. And my temper is, I get annoyed really quickly. And that's probably another reason why I'm single, because it doesn't take much to just, I don't have time for immaturity, and I don't have time for like adults who act like children. Like, I love children, and so I love them because they have that right to act like that. As an adult, you have tools and shit to get you together. So that's probably my biggest weakness, my fucking attitude. And I curse a lot.
If you keep turning back the hands of time, would you do it?
I would do it 10 times better. I wouldn't be so afraid. It took me a long time to just become secure in who I am. I remember, and I even struggle now with not feeling like I'm good enough. And so if I could do it again, I would just tell myself, like, at a very young age, that everything is possible and that everything that you want you can achieve. Like, I never would have imagined living in New York. I used to dream about living in New York. I actually was supposed to move here at 20, and it took me almost, 3.5, 4 years later to actually do it. And so, I would just be fearless in my other life. But yeah, I would do it over again. Like, I wouldn't change any experience that I've gone through because it's made me who I am.
So no regrets? No
regrets. Maybe I got really high at the Frank Ocean concert here in New York, and I like passed out, had to go to the hospital and everything, but I didn't eat that day, and I was like rushing to get to the concert, so I probably would have eaten prior to going and then worn like some shorts at the Frank Ocean concert. I love him.
So he made you hot?
No. All those black people made me high. It was standing room only, and I've never been to a standing room only concert where it was like in such a small venue, and we were like packed like this, and so I wasn't used to that. I didn't know to expect that. Like, I thought I was gonna have some breathing. I couldn't breathe. So my life was over.
Favorite season?
I can't answer that right now, actually, because it used to be the fall/winter, but I'm going to experience my first winter in New York this year, and if it snows more than 2 days, that's gonna change. That's gonna change. But the reason why I love it so much in Texas is because, like, I get cold easily anyway, but it was just the right amount of cold there. Here I feel like it's gonna be in the fucking negative, and I don't have time for that. I don't have any winter clothes. This is my winter clothes in Texas. This right here. So I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite season. If my second favorite would have to be the spring.
Fashion. Are you a fashion person?
I am a basketball shorts and sweatpants person. I would have had on basketball shorts today if I wouldn't have been recording this video. I would have had on basketball shorts. Like, I can dress, I do know how to dress, I do like people who look nice, and I like to look nice sometimes, but for the most part, I like basketball shorts and sweatpants and t-shirts and tank tops, like in these tank tops right here.
So you're more of you're not in the, would you say you're a cool kid? A part of the cool kid group?
By default.
By default.
I don't want to be in that circle, but I am in that circle. And so I always tell people I'm like the most antisocial person because I'm very fine being at home with my laptop and my headphones. But because of the platform that I place myself on, I have to be social. And so, yes, a lot of people do know me. Yes, I am. Whenever I walk into an establishment, 9 times out of 10, somebody's gonna know me before I know them. But I'm really not a cool kid. I'm really regular. Like, I'm really regular. Like, I don't think that I'm better than anybody else. I don't think that I'm a celebrity. I'm in my own little box. And so.
And for someone who wants to get into the YouTube experience,
don't do it.
What would you tell them?
Don't do it. YouTube is very, one thing that I did whenever I started doing YouTube videos is, I started at like 19 and I was turning 20. I think 2 weeks before my 20th birthday, I started doing YouTube videos. And one thing that I did was, I did what I wanted to do. I didn't do it to get some type of celebrity, and I never read the comments. And so I would tell people, don't read your comments, because people have a particular type of false sense of importance behind the keyboard, so they will discourage you if you read the comments. And so, and yes, you're gonna miss out on some people who really do support you and they want to be with you, but I feel like to just avoid all of that, at least whenever you're first beginning, don't read the comments, and don't do it because you want to be the next Beast guy, or you want to be the next Carmen, who is the musician now, and you know, who started off on YouTube and now she's performing on the amazing stuff. Don't do it for a celebrity. Do it because you have a bigger purpose. I started doing YouTube videos because, for one, it was out of fun, and then whenever I started getting like a audience, I did it because people were listening to me and I wanted to use my voice in a more positive manner. We don't have a lot of gay people who are older and who want to sit down and have a conversation, a real life conversation with you. And so do it, have a purpose if you're gonna do YouTube. Don't just get on YouTube to just do YouTube. Unless you want to be a twerk teamer. I used to do dancing videos too, but we watch twerk teams to look at their asses, not to see who they are as people, you know? I don't know. And then YouTube, it'll open up a lot of doors. Like I've been able to host events. I've been able to start my own blog. If I want to start a t-shirt line right now, I can do that and people will actually buy that. So just be consistent, which is something that I'm bad at. I'm bad at being consistent, but if you're consistent and if you do it like for real, you'll be okay. And any celebrity is celebrity. 20 people watching your videos is okay. People get bent out of shape over numbers, and it's not even about that. Like,
so who were some of the YouTubers that you looked up to, or that you like? I would say look up to, but who do you like?
Whenever I was doing YouTube videos, I didn't watch videos. I was such a horrible ass YouTuber. Y'all don't even understand, like, I didn't really watch videos. It was like black YouTube, like, I was a part of the 5 Black Guys for a stint. Yeah, I took, when Morris left, I took Morris's spot, so I was the second witness.
Okay.
And then my laptop got stolen, and then I stopped doing the 5 Black Guys. But I watched like all of like the Alonzo, Elton, Walking Water, the XD Experience, Hey Asante, or Mr. Asante, or ATL 06. Those are all his screen names. It was just my friends who I watched videos of. Now I watch like makeup tutorials, and I Google or YouTube search trans men because I'm infatuated with trans men. But as far as having like particular people that I looked up to, Tia Sexy Chanel always embraced me. And she's been one of those people who I can like have a conversation with outside of YouTube, and it means something, you know?
So what about the trans community that captivates you?
Well, I just like anything in our community, to be honest. I'm not one of those people who has particular like, oh, I'm not going to date you because you're a transgender individual. I am actually intrigued because you are transgender. I think it's just their struggle. It's so different from ours, yet it's the same, you know? A lot of people like to box them in and say that they're just like a gay person, but no, it's different because a lot of us can't conceal what it is that we have going on. Them as people, in order for them to be successful, they can't do that. They have to come to terms with what they are, and we have to physically watch them grow and transition. So therefore, it's really interesting to see. And so I just look them up. And trans men specifically, because it kills me how they look like real dudes. Like, I'm used to transgender women. I see them all the time. I don't really like, and I can clock them for the most part. Trans men, I can't. And so, especially the ones who get their breasts taken out and then they start taking the testosterone so their voice deepens, they get facial hair. It's like, young sir, your voice is deeper than mine. So I'm intrigued by that. Maybe I should start taking some testosterone.
And in closing, how can folks find you?
You can Google my name. You can type in Ahmier and it's gonna come up for the first 12 pages. But SladeNewYork.com is my blog. NeonBones.com is my freelance graphic design portfolio. Twitter.com/Ahmier is my Twitter. Ahmier on Instagram. Facebook.com/AhmierIam is my Facebook like page. And then if you want to email me or iMessage me, it's SladeNewYork@me.com.
All right. Well, thanks for giving us the opportunity to get to know you, let the world know you a little more, for folks who don't know who you are.
No problem. Thank you for letting me do this. And it's weird because I have ADD, and so I've been like trying to think of my thoughts and block out everybody else. So I think we did this in, a decent amount of time.